What up, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back with another episode of the Shop Podcast, episode 11. I know it's been a little while since we done the last one last Friday or Saturday, I believe. Sorry about that. But once again, I always continue to try and bring you guys different podcasts, different guests. I do usually have a lot of the same people on because obviously I value these guys' opinion. And it's a fun show, and we have a good time together. We rock out, and I have some fun together. So, hold on, got some playing in the background. Let me stop. Sorry about that, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guests that we have here. Like I said before, a lot of them are the usual suspects. I got some people that are going to be showing up here a little bit late. Tim Dog, shout out to Tim. And Livewire will be showing up also, too. But the people I have here, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys shout out yourself. Let's go ahead and start with our guest of honor. Go ahead, Worrywart.
Oh, I'm the guest of honor?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I usually have no time for podcasts. People think I'm ignoring them. They get all mad, but I tried to make time to come in this one. I know I promised to come on, and thanks for having me. Let's have some fun.
Appreciate it, Worry. Go ahead, Matt.
What's up, guys? Randall Thor 19 back again, once again, helping out PTK on his podcast. I'm always glad to help you out, man. Always appreciate you letting me come on here and talk about lots of good stuff.
No problem, brother. No problem. Anytime. We got another surprise guest, too. This guy just hit him up at the last minute, didn't know whether or not he was going to be available. So go ahead and shout out yourself, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie Man UK on Twitter, the elusive gamer, the worst YouTube channel around. And yeah, thanks for having us on because the time zone thing is usually just terrible.
That's bad.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, I've been bugging the hell out of Jamie for like a month now. I've been telling him I wanted him to come on the show. Obviously, he's over the water, so time difference is a little bit wonky there. But glad we got everybody on today. We're gonna rock out. Got some great topics. So let's just go ahead and get right into the topics. So the first thing I wanted to talk about here was really something that's just recently happened, and that's Black Friday. And I wanted to talk about the success of all of the consoles this Black Friday. I've been seeing videos. Obviously, we know that it was huge. There was a lot of great deals for Sony, a lot of great deals for Microsoft and Nintendo. And it sounds like, from what I've been seeing and what I've been reading, that every console did really well this Black Friday. And I kind of wanted to go over that a little bit with the people here on the panel. As you know, Livewire just showed up, everybody, so he's in here now. What up, Live?
You.
All right, so I kind of wanted to go over the success of Black Friday of these consoles. And just as a whole, in the industry, it looks like it's growing. The industry looks healthy, which is really all that matters, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and start with our guest of honor, Worrywart. Kind of get your opinion on, everything that's been going this Black Friday.
Well, first off, they have to change the name Black Friday because it's offensive to people named Friday. I got that from Crap. I had to use it.
Shout out, Crap.
It was too good.
He's drunk as hell on that.
Yeah, I mean, console gaming, all you heard is console gaming's dying, console gaming, PC gaming, console gaming, nobody wants to play console games anymore, and here we are, 2 years in, and both consoles are selling at a higher rate than their predecessors have, so console gaming's alive and well. Of course, you're going to get, which one sold the most Black Friday, which one sells the most on the holiday, but at the end of the day, it's great that they're both selling above their counterparts last generation.
Basically, great. Also, too, Worry, I heard also too that the Wii U actually had a big boost in sales also too, which is great. I like to see it's a great. If people don't know, I mean, a lot of us don't give a lot of credit towards Nintendo or anything like that in particular, but it is a great console. There are some great games here.
They have a lot of great software. They really
exactly.
do.
They really do, and it's a great console. I mean, complimentary. To have like with a PS4 or an Xbox, or even on its own. For some people who just really like Nintendo IPs, they're always solid.
Yeah.
I know we don't really give a lot of credit to Nintendo, but it's a great console, and I'm glad that people are going out and supporting that console and are picking up the Wii U. I actually seen an article that it was the top-selling console this Black Friday. I'm not sure how valid that is, but I heard it was flying out the door. So that's
I think every retailer has their which one's generating the most revenue. Best Buy has PS4. I mean, some stores have Xbox One. Some stores have the Wii. The Wii is still too priced, I think, high. It's kind of close to the PS4, Xbox One, but their software is really good. If you buy one, check out Splatoon. That's a great game. But it's hard to buy one right now if you don't have one because the NX is right around the corner. I know you're going to get into that later on, so I'll just be quiet now.
No problem. So go ahead and get your opinion on this Black Friday Live.
Yeah, man. I didn't get a chance to get out there too much to see the damage that, Black Friday is doing. But from what I saw, as far as like looking online, I can't really find a Xbox with a Connect, which sucks. So I was really trying to have my heart set on getting one, but now they don't have them available, which,
You want
you
that
know,
camera? You want the NSA in your house?
yeah, me. I'm a freak. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I never understood that. If they want to watch me play video games in my underoos, go right ahead. You know what I
Go
mean?
right ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's glad to hear that that's flying off the shelves. I mean, I've seen pictures. I've seen different articles like where it was saying that different retailers
Yeah.
do have different articles saying whichever one sold the most at
But
that particular store.
but
But
you know
go
what?
ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. It's your
No, I
turn.
was saying, one of the big reasons why it's flying off the shelves is I don't know if you have a Microsoft store by you, but they, like the one near us in the Bergen County area, they have like a big ass screen where they just let the kids play like video games on both sides. Like it's like they have Dance Central or whatever the hell the dance game is that they play on one
Mhm.
side of the store, and then the other side is just like they're playing like Halo or 2K and like this. I don't even know, like two-story screen is huge,
Oh
yo.
wow, it's crazy. It's
That's
crazy. That's a
insane.
good marketing. Good marketing. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So glad to see that everything is alive and well. Go ahead, Matt. Let's get your opinion on the Black Friday, man.
I I I always find Black Friday weird to like be on the outside looking in because like I kind of want to know who won, like, but you can never trust anybody on Twitter or on NeoGAF because each side has their agendas they're gonna push. Like people
Mhm.
Photoshop pictures. Like I'm sure you guys have seen there was a picture. I think it was Jamie that tweeted it yesterday. It was like a picture of like a stack of like PlayStations next to like no
And
Xbox Ones, assuming
no
they were
Xbox
both.
Ones. Yeah,
But then there was a picture today of
yeah,
like a before and after at Best Buy where it was like 200 Xbox Ones and like 400 PlayStation 4s. But then like someone took a picture an hour later and there was no PS4s and all Xbox Ones still there. So because then you have
yeah.
both camps saying like we did better and we did better and this whole like dick measuring contest. Like who sold more? And
Yeah,
to be honest, it's a little. I always just wait until the companies give their press releases and stuff. But it is nice to see, like you said, all three because we like I guess it was like Target's bestseller or something like that. Like it
yeah. I
just
heard.
so it's
Yeah,
cool to see because that system needs its people, needs more sales. But
yeah.
the big thing I'm seeing with Black Friday is like it's starting on Thursday now. When is Black Friday just going to start on Monday? I mean, the
Yeah,
retailers keep pushing it further and further away
It'll
from
be a month in a
Friday.
year.
Like
yeah.
before, it was just Friday at midnight. Now it's like 5 o'clock p.m. on Thanksgiving, and then
On
next year it'll
Thanksgiving,
be
yeah.
freaking Wednesday.
And don't forget, you have Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that
what the?
comes right
Oh
after.
god.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, they're gonna eventually. It's gonna be Black Friday week. It'll just start on Monday or whatever. It's
They might as
ridiculous.
well. That's a damn good idea. Just make it a week and leave it.
Yeah,
So
Well,
might as
they
well.
do put the sales out early though. Like some of the sales will be ready by Tuesday or Monday, but they just don't tell people. So you
Yeah,
can go in the store and just buy it for whatever the Black Friday price is on Tuesday or Monday. So
yeah.
I
That's true.
the only thing I bought was I bought the Forza Motorsport 6 controller from the
Oh, nice,
Microsoft store. I
nice,
think it was like $30 off, so I got it for like $40 or something. So
nice.
I'm trying to get the Elite. I had the Elite reserved, and I canceled the reserve because I thought, why am I going to spend $150 for a controller? And now I can't find one anywhere. I've been looking for months.
That thing is
yeah,
still sold out everywhere,
Yeah,
man.
everywhere.
I'm still
Sold out.
pissed that I pre-ordered that when they went up, and Amazon canceled my order right when they shipped it to everybody. So I
It's
haven't been able to
insane. It's
get
a
one.
controller.
Yeah,
You can't get one. It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy.
well,
It's
so you know
crazy.
what it is though, because like my friend normally when new stuff drops, he'll buy like 4 or 5 of those things and
And
then
then
put it
sell them
on
on eBay,
eBay
right?
for like $700. Like,
I hate that. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
resale. It's crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and get Jamie's opinion on Black Friday. Just all the consoles in general selling well.
Well, I'm obviously I poke fun at Sony a lot, but I'm happy that both are selling well. But the thing is, I was mainly looking for Wii U sales, and
Hmm.
over here, the Wii U was the exact same price, or even sometimes £10 more than an Xbox One up until maybe 2 weeks ago. And now you can get an Xbox One with 5 games for $299, or like an Xbox with 1 game for $229. But a Wii U still costs £230.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's
Like
crazy.
there's been no sales for anything Nintendo really.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things Worry was just talking about. I mean, it should. I think it, in my opinion, should have been had at least a $50 price.
Yeah, they can't be the same. They can't even be close to being the price of the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. They just can't. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't because the system isn't good. They just can't. Perception-wise, they're just not there right now.
Yeah. Good point, Worry. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic that we have. And speaking of Nintendo, it's a great way to segue right into the next topic. So next topic is Nintendo NX. You know, the future of the console. What little we know about it. I know Nintendo came out recently, or at least a couple weeks ago, mentioned that they weren't really going to talk about the NX in 2015 at all. The only time they're really going to talk about it was next year. That's when they're really going to get into the meat of the system and start telling people exactly what it is and what does it do and how's it going to work. So I just kind of want to get our opinion on, what is the console going to be? Just what are you guys expecting from the NX? Are you guys going to possibly pick it up? So let's go ahead and start with Worrywart again.
Well, I'm definitely going to pick it up. It's a Nintendo console. It's a new Nintendo console. Hopefully, they learn from some of their repeated mistakes over and over and over again. The press release that they gave out, the only information they gave out was they said they're going to use industry-leading chips, whatever that means. Whatever that means. At the time it comes out, what's industry-leading chips going to be? Is it going to be 1080p 60? Is it going to be 4K? Is that important? Who knows? What they need is, if they can get a system out that gives you all third-party support, every third-party game doesn't have to make compromises to run on the next Nintendo system, and you get all Nintendo first-party, it's going to be a great system.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I think Nintendo. I just the only thing I worry about is that they've done this before. They did it with the game.
Yeah.
They did. The 64 was more of a traditional Nintendo system. Then they try to re-up and go after the hardcore gamer the next time with the GameCube, and it was really like bad timing. Obviously, the PS1, PS2 were out, and those things were juggernauts, so nothing could really stop those at that point.
You know what's interesting though with the GameCube was more powerful than the PlayStation 2. The problem is they used that ridiculous small CD.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever played Rogue Squadron, that was one of the best looking games ever.
Yeah.
But they just went with their own little media thing again to combat piracy, and it killed them.
Yeah, that's true. Good point, Worry. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and just start with Jamie. What do you think about that Nintendo NX? You picking one up, or just ideas?
I think I will get one, but I think what the Wii U is going to be isn't what most people think it's going to be.
Okay.
Because the industry-leading chipset could easily be mobile chips, and I don't think they're going to make something to be like the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. I personally think that it's going to be a handheld that you stream to your TV.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Their handhelds always do well. And
That's true.
Their handhelds are killing it in Japan right now. I mean, the consoles are doing fine, but they also filed a patent for a console. It just said console, whether it was handheld or not, whatever, for a device that doesn't use discs, but it uses cards. So I think it's just going to be backwards compatible with the 3DS or DS games, and it'll come with like a Chromecast-looking device, and you'll just plug it into your TV and play them on the telly.
But you really think that they would give up on all their third-party games coming out now and in the future?
Yes and no, because if you look at things like iPad and Android, they do get third-party games like FIFA, some of the music games, like the Apple TVs even got Guitar Hero. I think they'll still get them, but I think they won't be getting Mass Effect Andromeda or the next Dead Space or whatever. I think they need to find the new niche, because the niche last gen was motion control. This gen was the touchscreen, which didn't take off, but the handheld is over 30 million right now. I think the new system is just a handheld.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Good point. Good view. Let's go ahead and get your point, Matt. What you think about the NX?
Part of me agrees with Jamie, but then another part of me, I think he's right on with that it's going to be some sort of handheld, but I think it's going to be a combo system. I think it's going to be something that you plug into your TV, but that like you like kind of dock into, and then you can take it on the go.
Yeah.
Like so, it'll be like mobile, but then at the same time, like so you can take it, and play your mobile games on it or whatever. But then at the same time, you would like dock it on this console, and then you'd play like the new Zelda, like really good graphics and stuff. See, I think. So I think Jamie's right with that. I think a lot of it's going to be focused on mobile because, as you know, they recently did that deal with that mobile company, so they're going to be doing IPs with mobile, and I expect that to be on that like whatever their handheld devices. But I firmly expect them to put out a very powerful system for their standards because I think this is the end of the road for Nintendo. I think if the NX doesn't do well, they're done as a game hardware manufacturer. They will like go third party. I honestly believe that because if you look at
that's a bold claim, man.
If you look at the generation of sales, if you go back and look, the Nintendo has been on a decline since the 64. Every single system has sold less and less and less. Now,
except the Wii.
But the Wii wasn't generated off the hardcore Nintendo fans. The Wii was a blip on the radar, right? But the Wii U continued the downward trend because like the Wii U is a hardcore system made for hardcore fans of Nintendo, and you can tell like Nintendo's losing fans every single year they go on. Like 64 sold a lot less than Nintendo, the Super Nintendo. Then what was after that? The GameCube sold even less, and the NX is even less. The NX like barely outsold the Dreamcast. Like the Dreamcast was outsold the NX if you compare launches.
NX or you mean GameCube?
I mean, no. Hold on, let me say this. So if you combine the launches if you launch align them between the Dreamcast and the Wii U, the Dreamcast actually sold more units before it was discontinued in the same time frame of the Wii U did.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
So the Dreamcast actually sold more units, and we all know the fate of that system. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I fully expect the NX to be a powerful system because I think they're gonna go to the third parties and they're gonna be like, we fucked up the last two systems. We need you guys. We need Mass Effect. We need Call of Duty. We need these games on our systems because that's the only way that system's gonna be relevant. Because we already seen if they're only selling it to Nintendo fanboys, the system's dead in the water.
You know what you got to think about? You got to think about too. They have a lot of work to do. I mean, they have to get an online infrastructure up and running with some sort of achievement system, with some sort of matchmaking, with some sort of stability. They have a lot of work to do.
They do because it's going to be hard for Nintendo to get like people to start playing third-party games on there because people have either played it on Xbox or played it on PlayStation. They're between a rock and a hard place right now. Like I honestly think this is it. If NX flops just as bad as Wii U did, they're out of the manufacturing game. Like
another thing is, go ahead, Matt. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I just think like this is it for them. Like look what they're doing now. Look what they're doing to bolstering like their bottom line. They're fucking making dolls for 30-year-old men
that are selling like crazy.
I know. The Amiibos.
Like
but they're
like crazy.
They're doing that because it sells and they're cheap to make. But like. Because nobody's like buying their games, and their games are pretty good. Nintendo games have been great, but like it's just that as years go by, hardcore stop buying Nintendo games. So I think if NX isn't a complete success, if they don't get the third parties on board, if they don't make a powerful system, because Sony and Microsoft will, they're done. They are completely done.
You know what, though? I can guarantee you if that did happen, I hope it doesn't, that Sony and Microsoft would be lining up to try and get some of those IPs on their systems.
Oh, yeah. They'd definitely be.
Like if in a hypothetical situation, say Sony, or say that did happen, I would just assume
Sony would get it.
No, Sony and Nintendo don't like each other. I would just assume that they would go third party and it would just be like games on PlayStation, games on Xbox.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. Sony and Microsoft would probably line up at the chance of getting Mario or Smash Brothers exclusive to their system or something. Because that is granted, I think the Wii U's, I forget what number it's at, 10 million or something like that. Those 10 million people, if Microsoft or Sony were to be like, hey, we got the next Smash Brothers exclusive, you have 10 million people who would buy your system just for the Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what, though? Just to be fair, they're at 10 million. They have the least sold, but when they release a lot of their softwares in the first week, they're hitting 1 million sold. Like Super Mario Maker, Tropical Freeze, Splatoon. Their software still sells reasonably
because
well
it's the
considering
only
the numbers.
it's the only thing that sells on their systems. People buy those systems only for Nintendo. That's why the third parties all ditched them, because the third parties knew. People like gave shit like, oh, why isn't Call of Duty on there? Why isn't Grand Theft Auto? These people, they get sales reports. They know what games like sell on the systems. So to them, it's not even worth the effort of porting it to it because nobody's going to buy it. They know this. That's why, like, the people who have, that's why the games that sell on Nintendo platforms are Nintendo games, you know?
That's true.
And that's what they need to change. They need to fucking get on their knees. They need to go to EA and be like, we will do anything. Just give us your games, you know?
That's true. That's true. Let's go ahead and get Live's opinion on the Nintendo NX situation.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I see them doing is sticking to their bread and butter, which seems like nowadays is just handheld. So if they do make NX anything, it'll be a handheld converted type console, which is like almost like a docking station, similar to Microsoft's notebook. Whereas the docking station, you connect the handheld to it and you boost the power of it, and then now you can use controllers to connect to it to your TV. Like, that's the only thing I can see them doing. Because other than that, I'm like, who's gonna buy it? They're way too far behind to really just pick up next gen and be like, oh, guess what? We fixed everything. Hell no, it's not gonna happen. Like,
that's true. And like Worry was saying, man, they got a lot of work, infrastructure. I mean, that's a lot of work in a short period of time. And what I'm wondering is, this is all I want to reiterate this also too. What I'm wondering is, this is a really huge point for me, is that if they do, let's say hypothetically, the console's coming out, I believe, are they going to announce it next year, or are we looking at 2017 for actual release of the NX?
I think they got to announce it, by at least mid 2016.
Okay.
Even earlier. I mean, it's just they can't go a full 6 months.
They can't go a full. That's what I'm thinking too, because at this point within the life cycle, we all know that the Xbox and the PS4, this generation, I don't think is going to last as long as the previous one. I don't think you're going to see Microsoft still supporting the Xbox One in 10 years. Although they said it will, the console will last 10 years, whatever the case may be. But I don't think this generation is going to last as long. So are you guys worried that possibly if Nintendo puts out a console now, then 3 years from now, Microsoft puts out, Microsoft and Sony put their console out, or however long they decide to, and Nintendo will be right back in that same position?
Yeah, because
think that's going to happen?
This has never happened before. A major company has never released their new system in the middle of a generation that just began. So I mean, the Xbox One, the PS4, they're just starting to heat up, and then halfway through, 2.5 years, 3 years in, the new Nintendo system comes, and then say you get maybe 4 more years out of this generation with Xbox One and PS4. When they release their new hardware, it's only the third year for the new Nintendo system, and if they're powerhouses, which I'm sure they're going to be, then Nintendo is right back in the situation that they're in.
That's what I'm curious to see. And people were debating, well, should they wait or should they release it? I was originally on the side of them waiting, but if this console obviously is not really moving that many units, and it's not doing that well, I guess, quote unquote, for the bottom line, but I find it hard for them not to have to release an NX, because the Wii U's not really going to continue. It's not really going to grow at this point. It is what it is, and I can't really see it getting any bigger. I mean, you can release more exclusives and more games, but I can't really see it growing, by that much to where they could say, okay, we're going to hold off on this NX and let the Wii U ride out a little bit longer. They almost have to put out another system, but I'm just scared that they're going to end up right back in the same situation.
You're absolutely right. They have to do it because the Wii U is such a failure. Like, they literally can't wait. Because if they wait, say 2019 is when Xbox One, they can't ride with Wii U for another 4 years. They can't ride with Wii U for another 3 years. They can't even do it for another one. They can't even do it for another year. Like, they have to just scrap it. I mean, they're pretty much saying, like, we're done with the Wii U. Like, we know it's only been around for 3 years now. Like, we have to get rid of it. It is killing us.
You know what you have to remember, though, too? There's always a silver lining for Nintendo. If it wasn't for the 3DS and the Amiibo craze, with all that money coming in, they'd be in even worse shape with the Wii U. I mean, they're
not hurting financially.
They're printing money with the Amiibos and with the 3DS. I mean, I always hear people say, it's not really a successful handheld. I mean, what are you judging it on? I mean, to me, it's It's a great success for
Hell,
Nintendo.
if you're gonna have one, it's the only handheld. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
like,
really.
there's no competition at this
People
point.
judge it based on the fact that is not as doing as well as the DS did.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh well, then I mean, yeah, but I mean, ultimately, they've got that market on lock. I don't Nintendo. I hope Microsoft never decides he
No,
trying to do
they're not going
handheld
to try
like
that.
that. You know,
No.
so I mean that
Yeah,
I
stay
don't worry
away.
about Nintendo in that handheld. You know, because they have that entire market corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty much a monopoly in my opinion as far as the handheld market. So great topic, guys. Great topic. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic that I had here lined up also too. And let's go ahead and see what I got here. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is it's something that we as gamers we're usually on one side of the fence or other, and that's microtransactions. Now we were kind of talking a little bit before the podcast went live about just sometimes microtransactions can be beneficial for games, you know, but a lot of times it's not. You know, people hear the word and they're like, oh my God, we dread it. We don't want to talk about it. You know, it's a cash grab, whatever the case may be. But there are some neat ways microtransactions can be implemented to actually help the game. You know, I kind of see the whole thing that's going on with Halo 5 and the rec packs, how they're taking that money, they're giving us free DLC. They're taking that money and they're adding it to the purse as far as the esports purse. And that's kind of a cool way to implement microtransactions and to actually have gamers see the results of them putting in money into the console or the game. So I kind of going to go around the panel, get you guys' opinion on microtransactions and moving forward. And you know, are they bad things or could they possibly be good?
Hey,
We'll
babe,
go ahead
give
and
me
get started
drink.
with Jamie.
Oh, with me.
Yeah.
Well, I have no problem with microtransactions as long as they're not invasive, because I've played a lot of games with microtransactions, like Mass Effect 3. That has a ton of microtransactions, but you can easily earn the battle packs with points you win in the games.
Uh-huh.
Same with Halo 5, it's virtually the same system. And it's not pay to win because it's literally just random stuff that you get. But some games make it so it's pay to win. Halo and things like how Mass Effect did it, that's not invasive, it's just random shit. Which I played possibly 200 hours of online of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and I never paid real money for one single pack, and I'll probably end up doing the same for Halo 5. I have no problem with that, but when they start putting things in like when Dead Space 3 did you could get crafting materials through or like paying real money for it, that's a load of shite. Nobody should do that. I mean, if you're paying full price for a game, you shouldn't be doing that. But if you have multiplayer and you have microtransactions the way like Halo 5 does it, and you get free maps, that's perfectly fine with me. And nobody should complain about it because they're not taking anything away from you. You're gaining something for nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. So let's go ahead and go with Worrywart.
You know, every generation you have to remember that the cost of developing games rises, and the cost of games does not. Nobody's willing to pay any more than, well, you know, in the States, $60. You know, if all of a sudden it's 65 or 70, people are going to go crazy. They want these games. They don't care about the rising development costs, and they want to pay no more than $60. So, of course, a developer has got to offset that expense somehow. As long as the microtransactions aren't pay to win, as long as they're not invasive, like Jamie said, then I don't have a problem with them. They have to find a way to monetize these games. I mean, unless a game comes out and sells 1 million right away, these developers aren't recouping the cost of these games for at least a couple years. So they have to do things to try and offset the cost of development, because they can't raise the price of games because nobody wants that, right? So they have to do something.
Okay, that makes sense. You're right. I mean, rising dev costs. I mean, you got to do something. I mean, not every game is going to sell like GTA out the gate. You know, where you're going to recoup that money in 24 hours. You know, so you're absolutely right. Where that's a good point, and I did completely forget about that. So let's go ahead and go with Matt. What do you think about the microtransactions moving forward?
I guess it all depends on if it's just like cosmetic stuff or pay to win. Like, I'm not a fan of like the stuff where you pay for things to give yourself advantage over other people. Like, I don't like that model that some use. Like the Halo 5 one, like their model it kind of straddles the line because you can only use it in one mode, most of it's like cosmetic stuff, but at the same time, like I've played Halo, I played Halo 5 for like 60 hours now. I still don't have any tanks.
Yeah.
So like I'm at a disadvantage to someone else who has like a shitload of tanks that they can call in.
Yeah.
But I mean that's just like a different scenario. I don't like microtransactions. I really don't even like DLC because I always look at like I'm sure most of us here are old enough to remember like previous gens like before the 360 and all this stuff. Like these cosmetic stuff like in Halo, those were all given to you like at the start. You didn't have to pay for it. It was just like you make
You don't remember the
dude,
horse armor in Elder Scrolls?
Well, yeah. But I'm saying most of the stuff that we're paying for.
Yeah.
Told you like 100 times.
I bought that horse armor too.
I did not buy the horse armor. I tend to not. If it doesn't have achievements tied to the DLC, I tend not to buy the stuff. But
Options.
but I'm just saying like the stuff like we get is just stuff we used to get for free. Like extra cheat codes and stuff like that. Like Tomb Raider has this thing where it has cards that like make the game harder, and then it gives you more points and stuff. And that would have been something that you just would have had in the mode to begin with. Like now it's like you can't pay for the things. It's kind of like a like what do they call it, like a slippery slope.
Well, it also they were free because how much did it cost to make those games back then as opposed to now?
True. I mean that is also a huge factor. Like games have relatively been $60 for a long time, and developmental costs have like risen exponentially. So yeah, you're right. Like that is a factor of that. But as a consumer, like if you're just looking at it from, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like these were things I used to get for free, for buying the game at $60, and now like they're nickel and diming me to get it. So I don't know. Like I particularly don't like it. I don't mind like DLC. Like I guess you have to make the distinction between microtransactions and like DLC. Like DLC, like say BioShock Infinite's like DLC. I'm perfectly 100% okay with. I'm even cool with like map packs and stuff like that. Like the microtransactions, I guess it's more like the phone stuff, because some of those microtransactions on like the phone games are ridiculous. Or the free-to-play games, like the free-to-play games on the one, like those can get ridiculous because essentially you are paying
to win,
to be better and stuff like that than other people, and I'm not a fan of that. Like that's not something I'm down with. Like I think like paying to win is like an atrocious thing and has no place in console gaming. Like if you want people to stick to the phone to do that, let them stick to the phone.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys one question?
Sure.
So for maybe like the past 3 or 4 generations in the UK, new games costing between £30 and £35. But when this gen started, we started paying 40 to maybe like £50.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't seem to go up like in many other places. Would you accept the price of games going up in cost maybe like $5, $10?
That goes right to my point. I mean, the cost of games here has risen steadily, whereas in the UK it hasn't. So you got that big price increase, whereas we've been getting it, incrementally over time. So it was a shock in the UK, but I don't think people. That's the thing, I don't have a problem spending $5 more for a game as long as I know that I'm not going to have to spend for these, little things just so that the developer could offset the cost, and I expect them to do things to offset the cost. But again, nobody wants to spend any more money. They just want everything that they used to get, and they, as consumers, you're right. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that they have to spend more.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to paying, extra, $5, $10, depending on like where it's at the situation in a particular game. If I feel like I'm gonna be getting my value, then I have no problem with paying extra $5. But like he said, you got to realize it. These games over time, the cost of development is going up, with the actual price of the games haven't gone up in a few years. So they're not really making as much money, but the actual price to create the game is steadily rising. You hear these games have movie budgets now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of these games are bigger than movie budgets. Like the same people that made GTA got the same budget that they made fucking Avengers with. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
And then you have to worry about the budget to advertise it after you spend the money to make it.
Exactly.
And
so
GTA
it's a lot of money.
And GTA, even though it makes boatloads of money, still has an option where you can buy money online.
Yeah.
You can still give them money if you want. See, but I think, like, I completely agree with everything you guys said, but I think we look at it more from, or at least when we're talking about it here on the podcast, we're looking at it from the business standpoint of like a game company. Like if you step back and look at it from a consumer standpoint, like my money is king, right? Like you have to convince me to spend any like more than I should. So if you don't have a good argument for why I should spend $5 more, or why should I accept, less for what I used to be able to get for the same amount, then we have a problem.
No, you're right. And that was kind of towards my point, is that if I, as a consumer, feel like I'm going to be getting a value, and that's up to me at the end of the day.
True, it's your money, it's up to you.
For everybody, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I was kind of just throwing that in there too. So I did kind of see it from the consumer standpoint too. If you come to me as a game developer and say, this is what we have, this is what you can also buy too. If I feel like that's something that's of value to me personally, because value is different from everybody, then I don't have any problem paying any extra money. Now it's difficult because everybody has different tastes. We all see different things, and value is different for all of us. So to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, but I get your point also too. You have to convince the consumer that this is something that may be beneficial, to the experience of playing the game. So
I mean, look at Star Wars Battlefront. I mean, there was a big uproar over the fact that it really had no content at launch. It was $60 for a multiplayer-only game. There are some people who are like, I'm perfectly fine with that, and there are another set of people that are like, hell no, I want more for my money. And then the whole like season pass, where the game's not really $60, it's really like $110. Because you have the season pass that adds all this more stuff, and some people are cool with paying that, and like, hey, I love Star Wars Battlefront, like I'll pay for that stuff, and some other people are like, are you serious? That game should be $30 for what it offers.
But I didn't understand that, because if you've ever played Destiny, you did the exact same goddamn thing. So I didn't understand why people were. I mean, Destiny over time, you think about the game itself. When you first bought the game, bare bones, what was it? Same price, $60. You get the season pass that came with like the first 2 DLC was $30. Then you buy the Taken King was another $40. That's like $120.
Yeah, which already had content you already purchased.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's like, now you got to pay fucking Taken King, but what if you already own like the other 2 DLCs?
The other 2. That's what I'm saying. You paid the $40 on top of the $30 that you already. It's $120. So it's just, I mean, people. It's weird. At the end of the day, that's something like that. I could see people being pissed off about, because it's ridiculous. Like, they could have easily had that one season pass cover everything like they should have done, rather than separating things that were already on. And matter of fact, if you guys don't know, most of the content was already on the disc. Yeah. It was just locked.
That's the thing. People are. I'm not really like. There's this movement going on. Like, it's almost like the death of single player games, where people are willing to spend full price for one mode. And multiplayer is a hot mode. I get that, but you should have content in a game. If you're gonna have, like, everybody knows Battlefront isn't a single player game. There's been previous Battlefront games. Like, when you're talking about Destiny, they kind of build Destiny as this deep single player game. Even Bungie talked about it, the epic story and all. And then the game launched, and it was basically an MMO loot fest. That's why they added in the Taken King a year later, and you had to wait a whole year to get a story in a first person shooter.
Yeah. That's true. Just go ahead and get Live's opinion. What you think about the microtransactions, Live?
I'm kind of on the fence, because, like, if I had the money to buy shit that I don't feel like running around looking for or earning, I'm like, hey, I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I can see how people that are faithful to the specific genres are like, oh no, we're supposed to grind to get this shit. Like, you got the super fucking helmet. I had to kill like 2,000 fucking enemies to get this shit, and you fucking pay $20. You fucking ass. Like, I could see how people could be upset about that. But I mean, I get why they do it, because you have the situation where our games are $60 and they've been that way for about 15 years. I mean, I'm just saying, I've been 15 and they've been $60. I remember, shit, what was it? Sega Saturn. I think it was $60.
60, yeah.
Yeah.
It came out. Yeah. And shit, well, fucking Nintendo 64, they were like 70. So, I mean,
the Neo Geo was like $100 and something for a game.
Oh yeah. Well, that was just straight bullshit right there.
They knew how to offset those costs.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
But the thing that is kind of troubling to me is the fact that you have games like Star Wars, which is a great looking game and it's fun for what it is.
Yeah.
But it feels like they just ripped so much out of the game. That's why people feel they've been raped when they get the game. They're like, what the fuck? Like, they play it for the first 2-3 days and be like, oh my god, this game is fucking awesome. And then that week turns around, you be like, damn, I ain't got hella shit up in this. And then, in games where like Destiny is the same thing. You play it for the first, couple of days and you're like, oh, this shit is hot. And then after a while you may, oh my God, what the fuck was I thinking? It reminds me like when I was younger, I used to go buy an album and you hear the first 2 songs on the album, you'd be like, oh shit, this album is fire.
That's the way it always is.
7 songs,
Yeah.
you're like, man, this album dog shit. Like they only got 2 good songs on this album. But that's the funny thing. That's what it seems like these reviewers do. It's like they listen to the first 2 songs and be like, oh, that's all I need to hear. This is a 9 out of 10. And then they go back and listen, and be like, oh shit, I should listen to the rest of the album. This shit is...
And you know what game's gonna get shit on is the Rainbow Six game that comes out next week. Multiplayer only, no single player, like small maps. Like it's because I was playing the beta for the first time and I'm like, this game should not. I'm like, is this game $60? And my buddies were like, yeah. I'm like, there's no way this game should be $60. Like it looks like a freaking $20 downloadable game. That's what that should be. I think what's happening is like I think publishers realized like they can get away with giving less content but charging the same price.
Yeah.
They almost have to. I mean, like Worrywart said, it's cost and overvalued. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure, like you said, you're looking on from one standpoint on their end, they're like, wait, this game costs $80 million to make. We got to recoup the money somehow. But you look at a consumer standpoint, you're like, man, this is BS. We're getting half a game, but you want us to go ahead and pay another $30, $40 for the other half of the game. It's ridiculous. So there's going to be losers all the way across the board. I don't think there's really a perfect way to do it. So it looks like Tim just joined everybody, so everybody knows Tim.
You know what else you didn't even touch on? If digital would take off a little more, people were more accepting of digital. A lot of those costs could be offset with digital distribution. You don't have to worry about packaging. Yeah. You don't have to worry about the actual package the game comes in, whatever. So
I love digital.
I could see why developers are veering towards digital as opposed to physical.
Bandwidth still costs money though.
Yeah.
True.
It's not like they make more money on that stuff, but it's not as much as you'd think.
Okay. All right, good point.
But so I know digital is the next frontier. I just wonder how many people are going to be accepting of it with the fact that you can't trade anything in.
Well, that's what's going to be. The PC market, they're accepting of digital all the way. So
because it's been like that for like 15 years.
Exactly. It's the console. It's the console market that's struggling to I don't want to say grow up because that might be a bad word. I mean, I know people like to collect. I used to love to collect, but you get older and there's no place to put all this shit. So it's just easier to just download stuff digitally. I don't see why it's not something that people are more accepting of.
All right, let's get Tim Dog's opinion on the microtransactions. Tim, I know you just got in here fresh out of work, so we're just talking about microtransactions and the future of microtransaction and how they're going to affect gaming.
I see more of it because games are more expensive to make, and they're getting more expensive to make, and they really don't make all their money or the money that they want at the fixed price of $60.
Who's he sound like?
But at the end of the day, though, it is something that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
I think that fans will be, they'll get pissed, but in the end, they bought Battlefront and they're going to buy the second port. I mean, console buyers bought Battlefront in droves, and they're going to buy the second half. So, is it fair? I mean, you have to be a smart consumer. I mean, in my opinion, the Battlefront package is a little skim for what they give. I think it's more of a $49 package, especially with all the DLC that's coming out. But yeah, there's going to be games that do that, but there's also going to be good deals like Fallout 4, where you can have 100 hours of gameplay
for $60. Yeah,
for $60. It's just more of being a consumer and being a smart consumer. Games like Battlefront are going to be easy to just push through the public because they're going to get it for their kids, and they're not going to think twice of content or all that stuff. But I do see it continuing. I do see microtransactions like rec packs and stuff like that, and I see developers and trying to be creative on that side because they're not getting enough money for what they're supposedly for what they're building out their budget. They're not recouping what they want.
And don't forget, you could put the word Star Wars in front of anything, and I think a lot of people are going to buy it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Star Wars is that's a huge deal. I mean, a lot of other games probably wouldn't have been able to get
right.
The fact
Need for Speed. Need for Speed did horrible.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good point. Good point there. So let's go ahead and move on, fellas. Next thing I want to talk about is, as we know, backwards compatibility has been touted. It's recently been talked about on the Sony side with the PS2 emulation, different things like that. But as far as on the Microsoft side, we know more about the backwards compatibility and how it works. Still haven't really got everything on that Sony side as of yet, how that's going to play out. We're waiting on more news from that. But so about the actual list and how they're actually putting out the game. So we wanted to talk about that. I wanted to go over that. Would you guys mind them dropping a backwards compatibility list before they actually put out the games, or should they just put them out and say, okay, these are the games you guys are going to be getting? Or how do you guys want them to go about doing that? Or what do you guys think is the best way for them to implement the backwards compatibility list and letting people know these are the games we're going to have coming up? So let's go ahead and start with Jamie.
Well, when they started doing it, what was it, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Well, when they did it, and I could finally play my precious Mass Effect. I asked Mike Ybarra about what about multi-disc games, because 2 and 3 and Lost Odyssey's multi-disc, and he said, Phil Spencer would sure like to know, but I think the multi-disc thing's going to be hard for them. But when it comes to announcing them, I think they should just do them the same day as they come out. Announce the list the same day as it actually gets released.
Okay, good point. Let's go ahead and Worrywart.
I mean, don't forget, every month you're going to get 2 Xbox 360 games through backwards compatibility, in addition to the 2 Xbox One games through Games with Gold. So whenever they announce whatever those gold games are, they should just drop a list, let you know that in addition to these 4 games that you're going to get on your Xbox One, here's the upcoming games that you can also play through backwards compatibility.
And let me ask you, Worry, did they mention how many each month, or was it? I don't know.
I think it's 5. It's 5 for December, and then I think after that, every month, whatever's on the 360 is going to work on the Xbox One, in addition to your games for gold on Xbox One.
Okay, what I meant was the actual backwards compatibility list. You know how many each month they're going to be, or
I don't know that. I think that what was the first was like 105 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
I think they had said it's going to be quite a bit every month, but I don't know. Maybe Tim does.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and move on to Tim.
Well, they have I believe 104 out right now, but there's more than that because all games now. Dungeon Siege and the games for gold in December are all backward compatibility. So moving forward, like you said, I don't know if they'll be counted, but I think there's going to be another 60, 70 on the February update. They're just going to keep adding and adding and adding, and I would say maybe 30 a month, or you might not see them for 2 months, but after 2 months you get 60. They said they were going to add hundreds more, so I would think that by the end of 2016 you're going to have maybe 250 to 300 titles backwards compatibility, which is a lot, or 200. You know what I mean?
That's
definitely
a lot of games.
They're going to have a lot of games, but it's more about the publishers. If they want to, if it's not going to affect their current game sales that they're pushing out, they're going to let it go. They're not going to let. I don't think that Rockstar is going to let. If they announce Red Dead Redemption 2, they're going to hold on to Red Dead Redemption because they don't. Yeah. They're afraid that it's going to cut into that sales.
You think there's a chance for a good marketing deal there? They could, maybe bundle when they drop 2, bundle 1 with 2. Kind of like they did with Fallout.
That's a great idea. But again, I mean. If they do have a marketing deal, let's say Sony, because Sony seems to be the big third-party player this gen, they're definitely not going to do it. But yeah, if it is a marketing deal, that is one way that you could see, one of these publishers be okay with it because that doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if they have a marketing deal with the other company, Sony, you're definitely not going to see it. So it's like a catch-22.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to live.
Well, I think the number that should maybe like 50 backwards compatible games per month. This is a good one, and maybe out of those 50, a good 10 or 20 be like a AAA games. Because you don't want to have them all be AAA, even though it sounds like it'd be great. But then you have so many, people will kind of ignore the ones that you're putting out. So you want to have like headliners, and then the rest will be kind of like smaller titles. But I think that would be cool, and like designate a specific day that it comes out, so that you're always getting amped for some shit. Like I'll be like, oh, the 15th's coming, we're going to get some new backwards compatible games. All right, let's see what we got. Versus
that's kind of like what Worrywart said. Have it advertised at the same time as the. Don't we get the list on like the 16th or 15th every month? I believe. Yeah.
But
that'll be a good.
They need to keep their exclusives away from that day. You don't want to kind of confuse the consumer. So if your exclusive is dropping on the 15th, or that you're always going to have your exclusives drop on whatever day, you might want to move that backwards compatible list, in one way or the other. So it's like exclusive has this week, backward compatible list has its, it's the whole other week. So it's like you hit them with a two-piece every time you're dropping games. Like, get games. Like,
All right, cool. Let's get your opinion on that, Matt.
I think the most important thing to this whole backwards compatibility thing is they need to get the store up on the One.
Yes.
That before they really do anything else, because I'm looking. I think a lot of publishers and a lot of people are sitting back and they're just waiting. They're waiting to see how this all plays out. Like some of the Red Dead Redemption. I mean, maybe they already know and they're waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2, like somebody mentioned. Like, hey, let's Red Dead Redemption 2 is announced. Boom, let's get hype up. We'll put Red Dead Redemption out in the marketplace. Quantum Break's coming out. Boom, Alan Wake, pre-order bonus, or get it all hyped for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of publishers, because obviously at the end of the day, it's all about money, right?
Yeah.
So they're probably just waiting to see. Are people really going to buy these games? Are people really going to play these games on backwards compatibility? Because if the answer is no, if they get the statements from Microsoft that games aren't selling and nobody's using it, then they're going to be like, it's not worth the time. Even the yes, because Microsoft did say there's no they don't have to do anything. All they got to do is just say yes.
Yeah.
But some of these companies that own these IPs, that's more important than making an extra $1,000, right? So they got to get the store up. They got to start promoting them. They got to get EA Access. I mean, can you imagine if they started dumping in backwards compatibility titles as part of EA Access or something?
I think they mentioned that. I think EA mentioned that.
They said they were looking into it, but
they wouldn't be opposed to doing that. So.
Yeah, I mean, go look. If you look and go to Xbox User Voice or whatever, that the where you get the feedback place. If you look at the top 30 games or something that are requested, there's only 3 that they're actually doing, or 4. It's pretty much the games people want, they haven't been confirmed yet, and that could be for many a reason. But I think publishers are just waiting to see how this all plays out financially, and if it's a gold mine. They get that Xbox 360 store on the One, and people start buying Mass Effect again, and they start buying Black Ops 1, and stuff like that. These publishers be you know what? Put Black Ops 2 on there. Put fucking Mass Effect 2 on there. Put these other games on there. We'll start making more money,
Yeah.
That's true. Big deal. That store is going to be huge. Like you said, they got to get advertisement. They got to get it out there. They got to get a store up to be able to actually digitally go purchase these games, because that's the only way you can use backwards compatibility. You can put the games in too, but you got to give somebody access. Not everybody's going to go run out to GameStop to go buy older games. You got to.
Well, I mean, the fact that you can only get them on the computer or on the 360 is kind of.
Another thing that they could do with the successor Rare Replay, when they put all those old games together on one package by one
Uh-huh.
particular development studio. If they did get a store up and decided to advertise sort of like bundles, like Activision bundle with back compat, or like the BioWare bundle back compat, charging $10 or $15, and you get a couple games through back compatibility by one particular developer on a store, that could be a way to entice people to use it as well.
That's true. That's another thing you just brought up. I didn't think about that. So price also too. Once they do get the store up and running, I mean, what do you think a fair price would be for some of these games? Like,
$10 at the most.
£20.
you think so? What do you think, Tim?
I think that it's a good idea to have it. I think they should just have it incorporated with the store. You could just basically get these games, and I do think it's a good idea to maybe package. I think they should be aggressive with backwards compatibility and sell it and put it and make it part of the ecosystem that Xbox One is. Because at the end of the day, those games are still good. There's still, a lot of these games before backwards compatibility were coming out just with a resolution bump, and people were buying them. So,
What do you think is a good price for
Who
some?
thinks a fair price for
$20, $15, $10?
For what title? I think they should be cheap. Why not? I mean, I think that they should be $14.99 for like a title, but I don't understand why they wouldn't try to sell it at a good price. You know what I mean? Or do these bundle deals where you can bundle 5 games like a franchise or something like that.
That's exactly what Worry was just talking about. Yep.
Yeah. So so I do see. I probably they'll be at the 20 price point. They're going to be a little. They're going to try it to be a little. I would when they start. I still try to get you for a little money, but at the end of the day, again, if you just wait a little, the prices will shoot down. Unlike on.
Okay.
I think they should sell them as games, though. I think that they have an opportunity here, because people will buy them for achievements and just to add to their library.
That's true. That's true. I like that idea too, where you said just bundle certain collections and different games that maybe have sequels, put them in there, give you a nice little bundle for a reduced price, $15, $20 for 3 different games. So,
yeah.
I
mean, rare people jumped at Rare Replay, and those were old games just all bundled together by one particular developer. So why not? I'm not saying every game through back compat. I mean, imagine if they get OG Xbox up there and you could have like the OG Xbox Legacy bundle, where you're getting 3 or 4 games from the OG Xbox for one price. I would jump at that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, they definitely gonna have to do a lot of testing and be very careful with their advertising and how they actually presenting these games to the general consumer, because it can either be really huge or it'll fail horribly. So there's a line that they have to straddle here, and I think they'll be okay. I mean, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic that we have here. When I kind of wanted to talk about what I've been doing recently with my channel is I've kind of been looking forward to next year and even slightly beyond next year, because 2015 is pretty much a wrap. All the games have pretty much come out at this point. A couple coming out December also too, going to be great games. But I'm kind of moving forward, and I kind of want to get you guys' opinions, see if they have changed, because I did a podcast maybe 2 months ago, and I asked people the same question. Let's look at E3 next year. Look at E3 next year for some of these companies. What are you guys expecting? This is for all the companies, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. What are some of you guys' expectations for E3 next year? Just if we had to guess. And let's go ahead and start with our guest, Worrywart.
You mean as far as what they're going to announce?
Yeah, just in general. Maybe features.
I think you're going to see an Xbox Slim. I think you're going to see that at E3, like a redesign, something to give it a little bit more heat around that time, some more interest, like they did with the 360 when they had that redesign. I think you're going to see probably some more scale-bound gameplay. You're going to see Crackdown again. I don't know if Crackdown's going to hit. I think Crackdown, of all the titles, is probably going to be the one that maybe gets delayed a bit. I think the big thing, honestly, is the redesign. I think you're going to see a slim Xbox One, and I think it's going to look sick. And I really do. I think it's going to look really good.
Yeah, me too.
Because look, they were worried about that red ring thing, and you could tell. The box. I don't think they get enough credit. The box is quiet. You cannot hear the box run. Period.
Yeah, I don't hear
it.
it.
And it never gets hot. It never gets hot. But
Yeah.
they wanted to make sure that when they launched it. So I think after all this time, 2 years, 2.5 years, they can slim it up a bit. They're confident, and I think that's going to look really, really good. I really do.
Okay, anything maybe from Nintendo, Worry, or
Well, I think
Sony?
they're gonna announce the NX. I think they're gonna talk about it some more. I think they might try and drive some excitement. You might hear about maybe some specs of it. I think that they have to do that. I don't know if they will because it's Nintendo, but if I was them, I would do it.
Okay.
I hope that they do. You're gonna see probably Zelda Wii U, which is a mistake. They should just put that on the NX. And honestly, I don't know what Sony's gonna do at E3 next year.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Jamie. What you think? E3 next year, sir?
Well, I think they're just going to do what they did this year, where they had E3, where it was like games coming out this year, and Gamescom was like the following year. And we know what we get next year. I hope we get a Slim, because there's people that just complain about the size and shape of it. Personally, I don't see a problem with it. People just whine about it. But I think I'm more curious about what we're going to get in 2017, because like it looks to me that they're trying to line up a shooter every holiday, and last year we had Master Chief Collection, this year we had Halo, next year we've got Gears. Like, what is the big game they've got for 2017? I think they'll save that for the end of their E3 press conference.
Okay, cool. So what you think, Matt?
All right, so let's see. Obviously, I expect a full blowout of NX for Nintendo. Like, they will come and they'll show that off, and it'll be all around E3. Zelda, maybe like a new Metroid, something to get like the hardcore super pumped, and that'd be like Zelda, Metroid, stuff like that. I expect a system to look good and be powerful. As for like Sony,
Uncharted, yeah, you got to see Uncharted.
Uncharted will be out by then. So
that's March. Yeah, you're right.
I fully expect there to be like a Last of Us 2 trailer or teaser.
Yes. About that.
More Last Guardian?
Yes, depending on when it's coming out. But yeah, I also expect a new God of War from them.
If we don't see a new God of War at E3, I'll body slam Yoshida. I swear to God.
No, they are making a new.
They
God
said
of War,
last E3 that they are working on one. Yeah.
All right,
they are making one. I'm saying they'll show. They'll probably also have an update on Shenmue, and maybe a huge gameplay demo of Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts, because those will be like Sony marketing stuff. And let's be honest, most people are going to buy those games on the PlayStation anyways.
Yeah.
They're also going to have probably, I would say both Sony and Microsoft will also unveil Slim. I think it's about time for that. I fully expect Sony to have a shitload of third-party publishing deals and marketing deals for a lot of the games. As for Microsoft, I fully expect to see Tim Dog there. Like Tim will be hanging around and Southbound, and Jeremy.
He'll be on stage with his green shirt on.
Yeah. Come on, Gears of War 4. Come on. He'll be there, but I fully expect there to Microsoft will. I was kind of hoping for the whole and the Xbox One Slim is out now, and everybody in the audience gets one, for free as you leave.
And you get a car, and you get a car.
I fully expect that to happen. Not like giving it away for free to everybody, but them announcing a Slim. Gears of War 4, like blowout gameplay wise, it's their big game.
Yeah.
More stuff on Scalebound. A big blowout on Crackdown 4, and I think Worry said it. I don't think Crackdown 4 is coming out, or 3 is coming out next year. I don't think so. I think there'll be a beta, and I even heard rumors that Crackdown 3 will be the first Microsoft game in early game access. Like if you want to play like the multiplayer, like it'll be up in that game access thing or game preview or whatever the hell they call it.
I want to get the first Crackdown and back compat.
They'll probably wait until that comes out so they can,
put it together, bundle it together.
Let's see. So what else? Recore. I would, if it's not already out by then. Somebody was saying it was going to be coming out March this year.
I don't know. I don't
know. So I mean, Recore. I mean, it's just the stuff like they're gonna be showing us that we've already seen. I like as far as like surprises, like I don't know, like Jamie, I think Jamie said like 2017, like. Is 2017 going to be Halo 6 already, or can they going to go back to a 2-year?
I don't think.
2018.
I don't think 2017.
Well, I don't know. The only reason I think they might is because they built a new engine from scratch.
I'm going to make a
4
prediction
and
here.
5.
The next Halo is going to launch with the next Xbox.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You think so?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
about
That's a
right.
little late. That's a little late. Really?
I don't think you're going to get another Halo this gen.
I think you'll get one Halo. I think it'll be 2017.
I don't
Because
think they need to
I
do
think-
it.
The reason why I think it was 3 years in between Halo 4 and Halo 5 is because they built a brand new engine for Halo 5. So if the engine's built and the story's already done, they already know where it's going. I fully expect this one to be a 2-year cycle.
That's too soon. I don't know. I don't like the 2-year cycle with Halo.
Because they want to alternate Halo Gears. It's the two big franchises. That's what they want to do. They've been doing it for a long time, and I guess it's possible. Okay, so if not Halo 6, then maybe Halo 3 Anniversary, because it'll be the 10-year anniversary. No, wait,
that's possible.
That's
That's
20,
possible. Yeah, I can see that.
Halo 3 Anniversary. I don't know. There's just a lot of different, because we don't know. Like Recore was just kind of like out of nowhere, right? Like,
Don't forget, you have
did
Halo
that.
Wars coming too. Halo Wars could fill the gap.
That's another one.
I don't know if Halo Wars could fill. I mean, Halo Wars is a nice appetizer, but I don't necessarily.
I think they're
it's
going to flesh out this multiplayer for a long time. I think this whole generation's good with Halo multiplayer.
Yes,
So
they are testing Halo Wars 2 right now. By the way, wink,
That's
wink.
why I think there won't be another Halo.
That's what they.
Yeah.
Don't
going
say anything, Tim. But Halo Wars is being tested right now.
Mhm.
Wow! I
So looking forward to it.
I gotta. Are you on your Twitter right now?
I'm on Twitter. I'm not breaking any NDAs, guys. I ain't signed up.
I know you're not breaking any.
But Halo Wars 2
you would never do anything about
No,
it.
I would never do any of that. But I'm saying Halo Wars 2 is currently being tested. I have friends who have tested it.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
So I don't know. It's going to be a big year for both. For all three. I mean, new hardware, especially from Nintendo. That's going to be big. A lot of people are going to be psyched to see that, and all the stuff that Microsoft's going to have to start showing stuff for 2017. Like we know what's 2016, and I expect a lot of these games to. I don't expect Sea of Thieves to come out next year. I don't expect Crackdown to come out next year. I mean, talking to Iron Wolf last night, he thinks Scalebound's not coming out next year either. And I guess depending on where they push it, I guess Scalebound could fall to 2017.
Don't forget the VR. Don't forget the VR stuff too for Sony.
Oh, the VR.
E3.
That's going to be big. That's. I think that you're going to see this E3 is going to be one where you start to see a little bit of that front and center, or not front and center, but definitely in the Sony thing. They're going to be showing that, and they're going to be pushing it.
Yeah, it's hard to
The
talk
headset
about it
meant
on
to be out
stage.
beforehand.
Yeah, but they're gonna show the games, or I think that they are going to definitely be pushing that. Whereas Xbox, they could be smart with all these games. I mean, you're talking about 7 AAA titles that they can, they could be smart. They could push Scalebound and put it in the middle of nowhere in February back. They can do the same thing for any of these titles. They have to be smart. The placement of the games have not been strong by them. They have to be smart with them. They did Sunset Overdrive, and that was not smart.
Nope.
They did
Tomb Raider wasn't
Tomb
smart.
Raider was not smart, even though I heard that was
It's not their fault. Right.
right. But they have to be smart. So I mean, you don't drop Scalebound in the middle of a crowded AAA month. You just if you have to delay it, it's the best thing. I mean, it's not a hard thing to do. It's not a hard science, And they're gonna Xbox is gonna bring the games mantra, and you're gonna get another unannounced game. That you're gonna get Forza Horizon 3. I think that's that's coming.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get more games. You're gonna have maybe Banjo. Or they're gonna be bringing games. So they're not.
Tim, what about a custom Gears 4 console?
I think if they were smart, they would do that. I think the redesign is. I agree with Worry. I think it's it's possible it's going to hit in 2016 at the holiday. They'd be smart to. We'd have a smaller sized one that you can, stand up or lay on its back. That's basically, in my opinion, the main thing, because that actually gives people an option sometimes to put it in there. Wherever they can maneuver it, or they just like to stand it up. It's just smarter, and they can get a lot of mileage out of that. Just that with the games that they have.
Does anybody think Minecraft 2 is going to be announced anytime soon?
I don't think they're going to fracture it like that.
Supports
It's
itself.
just going to be called Minecraft.
Yeah, it does. You don't really need that game is driven by community more so than any other game out currently right now. You don't really need to. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Just leave it alone. Like, you don't even need to really do anything with that. I mean, maybe,
wait till they tie in Minecraft with Star Wars.
That's gonna be crazy. I would like I know Matt brought up this, and I don't see why they haven't done this yet. What about like a Minecraft custom console? Like
Slim E3.
They should have did that this holiday.
Yeah, that's exactly what Matt said too a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah, it's I fully expect there to be a Minecraft custom console with the Slim, because they're gonna want to like push those through the door.
That would kill. That would win. That would by far would win, especially if they get a price drop next year too with the thing. That would just blow. I mean, a Minecraft custom bundle, I can see that really selling.
Don't forget about Titanfall 2. That's being tossed up in the air too.
That's true. That's true, Worry. That's true.
But as far as exclusive or just like
as far as there's a couple rumblings going on. I'm not sure if what's what, but it's going to be a big game.
Let's go ahead and get Live's opinion. I haven't heard his yet on the just 2016 E3 possibly.
Well, I think that Nintendo, I don't know. Well, obviously they'll reveal the NX, and we'll see what they've really been cooking. So, I mean, probably see Zelda and probably a new Mario and probably a Mario Kart, something like that. For Sony, they're going to show a shit ton of VR. They'll show a shit ton of Horizon and The Last Guardian, maybe. And what's that? And they got some. What's
No
that
Man's
game?
Sky.
Detroit. No Man's Sky.
Oh, Detroit.
That's it.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another.
Dreams game. They got a couple. They got a lot of games.
Yeah.
They're gonna show No Man's Sky on VR. It's not gonna come to regular PlayStation, and it's gonna be fucking ugly on that shit. But it will be No Man's Sky. So I don't know how to. I don't know. That shit is looking bad, man. Just because of the fact that they haven't put it on a PS4 yet, but
that'll be a VR game in my opinion. They're just gonna.
I mean, it would. To me, it makes more sense because the fact that it looks so boring, just shooting shit and looking for animals, it makes more sense that it is VR.
There was a window. There was a window
slower.
for that game. It was hot for a long time. There was a window for it to release, and they didn't release it.
Yeah.
And you keep the cake in the oven too long, and then it gets burnt. You can't eat it.
Yeah.
So
especially when a game like Everspace comes in and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
They should have released it by now, but you're right. They're probably holding it because they want it to be the big VR centerpiece when they launch.
Which it makes sense.
VR.
It makes sense for VR. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
that's a perfect game for the VR.
But they're gonna show VR. But the funny thing is, with VR, they're gonna actually play VR the way it's supposed to be played. You're not gonna see people whipping their head around super fast, throwing up on stage. They're gonna be actually moving slow.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to see that. I mean, people will throw up at home, but on E3,
look, if they find a way to give me a lightsaber and make me a Jedi with the VR on, that's sold.
Well, that would be insane.
Can you imagine though if like somebody was demoing that on stage and they just puked all over?
Oh my god!
I'd buy it in a
I'd
heartbeat.
be like, I am sold.
I am sold. Yeah.
Sign me up. Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah. So you got VR. That should be good. Well, you're gonna show a ton of that, and what's I don't think they're gonna show that many indies. I will give Sony that. They're gonna show a ton of multiplats, and maybe like 3, 4. Like they'll show the Wild again or something else.
Wild, yeah. Rhyme.
Yeah, Rhyme. That'll eventually, unless that drops sometime earlier.
It was supposed to, but I don't know what happened to it.
But yeah, so
Shadow of the Beast. I mean, they had a lot of games that they show that they just went away. Or Shadow of the Beast they actually showed recently.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
okay,
think,
cool, cool.
but when it comes to Microsoft, I think they're gonna have so many games coming out. That's just gonna be, it's gonna be crazy, man. Like I think about a good 7. They're probably gonna have like 8 exclusives up there, like AAA, either coming out that year or coming out, early next year in 17, which is gonna be like, that's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
And we
that's
need
true.
Tim Dog on stage
Yeah,
to
we need
announce
you
one
on
of
there.
them.
Yeah, we need you
You're
on
gonna be the one. You're gonna be the one on stage.
But I think Titanfall is gonna be the last one they show. That'll be the closer. Titanfall 2.
That'd be
Yeah,
dirty too.
I wonder who's gonna get that marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and they say and they'll close with Titanfall 2, and they'll say, by the way, only on Xbox One. Right?
No.
No,
Titanfall. No.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Titanfall 2 is gonna be debuted at Sony's press conference. You heard it here first, gentlemen.
Oh boy.
Well, if it is, that'll be interesting.
I'm shutting my Twitter down.
They'll be
that
watering
day.
down the. They'll have a shooter on top of shooter. They'll have so many shooters, you wouldn't even be able. You'd be like, oh my god, there's just too many shooters on
Well,
PlayStation.
they're going after the Microsoft.
Well, I mean, no, it'd be the EA. Like they already know they have all the Xbox gamers like who will buy Titanfall. So if you're gonna sell Titanfall 2 to a new set of people, which is the PlayStation people, probably would want to debut that game on their stage to like start like pandering to them. That's my reasoning.
It is kind of hard though to debut it and then say, hey, by the way, the other guy's going to get it a week later and 10% off.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Great topic, guys. Great points. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the podcast, everybody. Man, it's been a nice day. Great podcast. I always end it. I always start with thanking everybody on the panel that come to rock out with us. Everybody that's in here, all of the viewers that we have today. We appreciate the love and support. I want to go around the panel and give everybody the opportunity to go ahead and get their shameless plug out the way. Let's go ahead and start with Worry. You want to get something to say?
I don't have any plugs. Just thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I had a good time. Thank you.
No problem. Go ahead, Tim Dog.
You guys can find me on Twitter. I
really thought you were gonna say find me on the E3 stage. I'm sorry, Tim.
You can find me on the E3 stage. Yeah, you know my deal. I'm on Twitter. You just search Tim Dog. I'm the green guy with Xbox shirt, Xbox everything, all over the place. Pretty easy to find.
All right, go ahead, Live.
Yeah, it's your boy Live. Crazy as hell. Always slapping ponies. I'll put up some new videos. It's been a while. I've been busy. I'm sorry. Shit was going crazy, but I'm gonna have some new shit up there tomorrow. My girl goes to work, so I got time. I got free time. I'm gonna go ham up in this motherfucker.
All right, man. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. So on Monday nights, 10:30 Pacific time, or no, 10:30 Pacific time. Me, Tim Dog, Southbound, Jeremy Downer, Lone Master Who, and Doc Cupcake join us for Xbox Roundtable.
Oh, nice.
Our weekly podcast.
Okay, cool shit. All right, Jamie.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Twitter, Jamie Moran UK, and YouTube, The Elusive Gamer. It's a shite channel, but, subscribe anyway.
All right, everybody. We appreciate the love and support, man. We out of here. Thank everybody for coming. I'll have some more content on my channel coming up within the next couple of days. I got a great few things lined up for the channel. So thanks, everybody, for rocking out, and we out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Take care.